Hey y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler. I want to welcome you all back to the 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2021. Thank you guys, as always, for being here today and each day on this ride. Our tangle today is called POOMA. It is by CZT Sandy Hunter. She is down in Texas and has a blog called Tangle Bucket Studio. Okay, so for today, I'm going to use a standard original Zentangle tile. I'm going to draw my string in a color for you so that you can see it. It's not really a string, it's just basically a circle. I mean, an orb. I'm going to use black, PN and 01, and perhaps shade with this, perhaps shade with something else. All right, let's get started. So this tangle is based on orbs. You draw an orb. And there's decorating, so you want to give yourself a little room in there. Put a dot in the center, and then make some rice shapes in your cardinal directions, north, east, south, north, south, east, west. Holy cow. I think I'm having a mental breakdown this week. It's terrible. All right, so doesn't have to be perfect, right? Then she has, I believe in the step out, what she has in the step out is about a bazillion different variations for this. So you can really handle the rest of this as you want. You can do all kinds of interesting things with this. You can just decorate to your heart's content. You can use, I don't know if you can see this, you can use dots. I forgot my glasses. That's why I can't that's why I can't see what I'm doing. So what I'm telling you is this is a wonderland for embellishing, right? You can absolutely do whatever you want to in these interstices, in these gaps between these little rice shapes. Okay? Whatever you want to do. She even has some examples where some of the elements travel outside. You can do anything you want to with this, okay? So I probably shouldn't have drawn those like that right now, but let me show you how this works in a grid. You just want to draw the orbs about the same size. Kiss the sides. And you can make these petals or rice shapes as rice shapey as thin or as fat as you want. You can even give them a little tamari decorations. You know, decorate, decorate, decorate. The sky's the limit. Have fun, do your thing. And then when you get them all, pretend that's not there. When you get them all set up, you can add them and have as many or as few as you want. And you can ink in here or just hatch it. Yeah, and then you all of a sudden have a grid pattern. So this is what we're going to do today, and I wanted to go ahead and show you some of the possibilities because I'm not going to handle it like this. I decided today when I was looking at this and all of the embellishing possibilities that there are with this, I decided what I wanted to do was to work large on this. I want to do a single element here and just knock myself out with the embellishing, okay? So we're gonna see how that works and see what happens. All right, so what I did here was I'm trying to find what I used. Did I use my cup? Well, so you can use a jar, a cup, whatever you want to, like this. Try to position that in the center of your tile and draw a circle around it. Now, I put a light pencil line, which you probably, sorry about that rattling. I put a light pencil line, which you probably can't see, so I'm going to go over it with this colored pencil. It's just a dark blue. And we'll just consider this our string today because we use those so often. I am looking to do a tile very soon that is completely traditional Zentangle. And so we'll probably have maybe 3 tangles. We'll use a string. We'll see where we end up with that. So this is basically what I have. Let me zoom out a little bit. And this is 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. And I've just got a circle in the middle that is large, but not so large that it's going to take all of the space up. Okay? All right, so now that you can see that, I'm going to draw with my 01 and ink that in and make sure I stay in camera today because I noticed I was in the way again yesterday. I had a hard time getting yesterday's video uploaded, so it was late again. I won't be doing that anymore. It took nearly 10 hours for it to upload. Stupid. Stupid. Oh, and we forgot to breathe. I better do that while my pen is not on the paper. It's always the best way. Oh, try to relax, Cindy. It's going to be all right. Everything's going to be okay. Even if it's not in general, it's going to be for the next hour while we're drawing. All right? Okay, so now I have just inked a circle or an orb. It's not a circle, definitely not a circle, but an orb, okay? And the next step is to, of course, put that dot in the center. Now I'm going to go ahead and make my first variation here and make this dot kind of large. It's going to be all right. And then I think, I'm trying to think how much stylizing I want to do with this petal. And I think we all know the answer is a bunch. But I think we also know the answer is go easy, Cindy. So I think I'm just going to do this and put a little curve in the top so that it is no longer rice-shaped, but leaf-shaped. Because, why? This makes me happy. That's why. I'm going to put some more here, some more here. I had trouble getting yesterday's video to caption. So I don't know if I was just speaking, you know, in tongues or something, or if I was doing something wrong. Okay, so now I have a very stylized version of this, right? So I think I'm going to do some decorating because that's what I really like to do. And I think I'm going to start with some flicks here. Let's see if we can get them to look good. So I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to rush it. And if I get them too far apart, whoops, not going to rush it. I'll go back in and add a few more. I don't mind if these are pretty dense. I always like the look that gives them, plus it's sort of a natural shading technique. What would be ideal for this kind of thing would be a 005, which is a very tiny nibbed pen, and you can do really nice hatch lines and things like that with those because they give you such a small line, a fine line. Once again, I'm just going to take my time and decorate to my heart's content. You can decorate along with me. You can do your own thing. You can make a grid. Whatever makes your heart happy today. I want to see your ideas. And if you're blocked and you want to use mine, that is cool too. I think you beginners are going to find that the more you relax into this, the more ideas you're going to have. All right, let's see how this looks. Pretty ink heavy. We'll put a dot of jelly roll in there, of course, and make that happen. So I think the next thing I want to do, because I can and I'm going to decorate, is I think I'll go ahead and put an aura around here very carefully. That will give me the opportunity to that will give me the, sorry, I don't know where my head is today. This will give me the opportunity for some separation before I start doing anything crazy in here. Plus, again, our lines do some amazing things and can turn something perfectly nice into something very cool. So it's never a poor idea. Yeah, okay. So now what? Okay, so the next thing I think I want to do, and again, I encourage you guys to do your own thing, have your own ideas, and especially look up all of Sandy's variation ideas. The link is on Tangle Patterns under the name POOMA. And you can also see a picture of a very happy cat who is very pretty. I like him. His name is POOMA. Here we go. Careful, Cindy. Slow down. So I have drawn that behind, and that will give a cool look. So I could take this line, do a curly Q or something like that. I think I want to hold any crossover. Let me think about these areas in here. I think I want to put another aura in, this time doing either dots or dashes or just dots. I think I'll just do dots. I'm kind of on a dot crazy thing right now. And I'm just going to let them get smaller as they go. I'm going to do that on each one. Try to make that first one big enough for a dot of Jelly Roll, because you never go wrong with that. Oops. Okay, slow down, Cindy. There. Hopefully you can see that, and if you can't, then it's probably not big enough. I've got some hurry up lines over here, or smudges in my dots because I got in a hurry. Okay, let's try the next one. See, that's pretty. I like that. Okay, these are going to get bigger, aren't they? Let's calm down. At least I need to calm down. I thought no interruptions today because the boy is gone. Yay. And then, you know, my brain seems to be only partially here, which is kind of the point, but kind of I need that brain to be, you know, sort of partially here. You're going to see how I do. All right. Okay, so for now, I think I want to leave that. And I think the next thing I want to do is something fun that I do with my gem patterns. And so I think the first thing I'm going to do is put in a small or a thin aura around the outer edge. We'll see how I do on this. It's not always so easy. If I have to lift my pen, I'm going to leave a gap. And that is why. Cindy, goodness. Okay, deep breath. My muscles are rigid again. I'm all tense. Deep breath, Cindy. Okay, it's going to be all right. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to be okay. I'm going to try to keep the distance consistent, but, you know, I'm kind of hit and miss with that kind of thing. So I'm just going to tell myself that whatever happens is okay. Don't ask me what I think I'm doing here. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this next is do something around the edges that I love to do on my gems when I do those. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an echo line here that doesn't go all the way around. Let me show you what I mean. Okay. So I have this sort of crescent moon around partially around this element. Okay, so now I'm going to put another one on there, and I'm going to sort of wrap them around each other. I don't want to start too far over, but I don't want to start here either. So I'm going to start right here towards the end of this one. Like this. Okay, so not as graceful a curve as I would have liked, but that's okay. And I'm going to do the same thing and overlap both of these here. And hope for the best. As always. Okay, so this is what I've got. So now I can do a couple of different things to this to make it interesting. One is I'm going to put just a tiny bit of line weight down in the tips of these to sort of make them more visible. And you don't need very much, just a little bit of extra ink down there. Okay, now you can do a couple of things here. One thing you can do is, and you can treat them all differently if you want. It's entirely up to you. So one of the things you can do is you can put vertical lines that are very thin, sort of like hatch lines, but not quite. And I'm going to, again, let them be wiggly and imperfect and very organic looking, very natural. And they're just going to come in. And then I'm going to do another one. And try to pack them really tightly in here. Let them look natural. Something goes wrong, just pick up where you left off. Leave a little gap if you want. It'll look like a sparkle, and that's perfect. And just pack them in there. Make it as dense as you want, okay? So that's one way you can handle it. Another way that this can be handled is, let's do this one next, is by putting little curved C lines in here. So, can't really tell they're curved yet, but you will be able to. And take your time, try to make sure you're starting and stopping where you want to. Try to keep your curves consistent. Of course, as soon as I say that, mine are going to go south. But I am going to be okay either way. No mistakes, just opportunities to get your jelly roll out. I'm just teasing. Don't take me too seriously, guys. I am almost never serious. Unless I'm encouraging you, then I'm very serious. I think making jokes is a defense mechanism for me. And so, you know, so I tend to do it a lot. Plus, I'm a terrible tease. I just can't help it. I'm going to have to change my pen. Although this one might be good for some other things. All right. All right. I may bring my pen in here and do these. There, I like that better. I'm just putting some light flicks in there. Okay, that's better. All right. So now on this outer one, what should we do? Okay, so the other thing you can do is sort of put some zigzags in here. I'm going to start in the middle and work my way out, since that seems to work better for me. And if you'll try to keep turning your tile, you'll find they'll turn out more evenly. All right, and then coming over here, what you doing, Cindy? All right, and then maybe are the inside and ink on one side, and maybe do that on the other. Okay, I like that. Although I just obliterated all that work I did, didn't I? It's okay. And it doesn't have to be much. It just needs to be a hint. Since that's all you can fit in there. Just a hint. So this is one of the reasons I wanted to draw with my 01, but I have my PN out because when I finish, then I'm going to want to give some line weight to these different sections to sort of emphasize their differences, and that will be easier to do with PN. All of this little tiny work, that's good for a 01. So how is your Sunday? Perfect day for decorating stuff? I've had a lot of fun with our tangles. Don't forget to leave me a comment if you have a tangle you would like us to do. Now, I said it needed to be on tangle patterns. However, if the pattern creator wants me to host it on my website, I can certainly do that. And we could work it that way. I think that's what we did last year. All right, just 2 or 3 more. And these just need a little hint. Dot, dot. There. Now we're cooking. Okay, so very cool. I like it. All right. Next, what do I want to do? I think on the outer edge, I'm going to put some orbs. And I like to graduate in size and come back down, but I get uncertain results with that. So I think this time I'm going to attempt to make them all sort of uniform, if that's possible for me. We're going to find out right now. I'm going to go ahead and make them decent size, but not just crazy big. Remember, if you will start your stroke on a line, that will help with stray lines, assuming you can get it on there. Try to make your orb stroke the same way over and over. The odds of you getting them uniform are higher if you can do it that way. Of course, it is always an adventure with me. We're going to see what happens. Are you on the edge of your seat yet? Are you on the edge of your seats yet? So thank you guys for your prayers and well wishes from Little River Girl. The anti-inflammatories have seemed to help some with her grouchiness. So hopefully that means she's not quite in so much pain. She is still snoring like crazy. I didn't expect that to stop, by the way. So somebody suggested a GoFundMe. That's one possible way. I would rather try not to do that. I'm going to contact the vet up in Tulsa that does the root canals and ask if they have any what I want to think of, any help for low-income families or something like that. And if not, I'm going to ask them if they would take donations in her name for her procedure. And if I could do it like that, I don't know. On Monday, Monday, I will try to get in touch with the Bella Foundation and also see if there are any other agencies that might help with something like this. She's been in the Oklahoma City Animal Shelter several times, so I'll probably contact them as well and see if they have any help for us. So that's my game plan going forward. So I'm going to go ahead and ink in all these little gaps on the underside. I did a fairly good job with the orbs. Yay! Sometimes you surprise yourself. That's why you keep trying. If you guys are ever curious, get the Zentangle Mosaic app and look me up on there, Cindy Pelly, CZT32. Probably if you put at CYN, you'll probably find me in the list easily. But you can look in there and see the art that I posted the very first year I was on there. And I think I've been on there since maybe 2016, I'm not sure. But you can see and look through some of my art and see how much that has changed, how much years of practice will do for you, how much NE's classes have made a difference. And you can always tell the ones that I do that are lessons of hers, they're just awesome. I mean, talk about surprising yourself. I have surprised myself in her lessons so many times. And it's a lovely surprise. It's lovely. So I saw a comment from another one of you guys that you had joined Art Club. Was it from Patricia? I'm not sure, so don't get angry if I got the name wrong. I know your last name starts with a D. I'll check it. But you won't regret it. And I noticed the other day that I believe in her welcome bundle that she has for Art Club, the Shading Fearlessly bundle is part of that. And that's worth the price right there for the month. So, yeah. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody that was not happy with Art Club. I'm sure there have been some. But the large majority of people that are in there are just effusive with their praise for her. So, that said, you just have to go and look at the lessons, and before you leave, you'll be like, yeah, how much is this? Where do I sign up? Neoken.com. Neoken.com. Graphic at the top. All right, I'll stop. Please stop. My mother used to call that diarrhea of the mouth, which is disgusting, but it's an apt description. And thank you, Barbara, for the lovely, lovely pad of pen and ink paper today that I got. And for that wonderful olive oil soap. Oh my goodness. She remembered that I had said something about how dry my skin was, and so she sent me some pure olive oil soap, which is so wonderful. I wish it smelled a little bit better, but I can feel just by touching it how moisturizing it's going to be. So I'm planning on using that as soon as I finish with this video, as a matter of fact. I'll go grab a shower. Not really supposed to do that on my own, but I'm going to do that anyway. Because I'm feeling my oats, as my mother would say. She was raised on a dairy farm, so she was used to dealing with cows and, yeah, oats. All right. So that was a bit messy there, but I think it's going to be okay. So I think I'm going to add another aura now and see what that looks like. I'm having fun. Just making stuff pretty. I love making stuff pretty. It's like my favorite thing in the whole world. When I was a little girl, Mom would call from work and she'd say, okay, I want you to clean the kitchen so that when I come home, we can make dinner. Oh, Cindy. She would come home and she would find a beautiful candlelit table with tablecloth and all the nice place settings and everything ready for dinner. And I still hadn't swept under the table because I am all about the decorating. And she used to get so frustrated with me, but it was hard to be mean because, my heart was in the right place. I just, I was about the decorating, not the cleaning. I know that I have been cursed by the mother's curse now. Because whether we're related or not, we are just like each other, Mari and I, in a lot of different ways. He is my sweetie. I think sometimes he is afraid that I'm going to care about someone else more than him. And even though I know my heart is big enough for everyone, he needs to be reassured that there is a spot in my heart that is reserved only for him. He needs to know that he is somebody's most special, most valuable thing, most precious. And even though he's not a possession, he wants to be. He felt the need to be possessed, if you will, as far as having a parent that was not going to walk away. So, okay. So now we're here. Now what? I'm thinking. I'll decorate while I'm thinking. Yeah, why not? Simba has been all bummed out since Mari left yesterday. Yeah, I like that little bit of black. That really helps the drama. And again, you can do whatever you want to, whatever you think would look good. And if you need some suggestions, you can check out Sandy's art, Sandy's variations. And if none of those appeal to you, chances are you'll be inspired by something that she does have there to do something different. Okay, now I know what I want to do. It only took some time. All right. Here we go. And the fact that those are all not the same size is fine. If I'd been thinking, I would have made this one a little smaller, but it's going to be all right. If you'll notice, I have shifted my pen to almost completely upright. This is something when I'm inking that I frequently do, especially if my pen feels what I call scritchy, a little rough on the bottom. Then I tend to do this because chances are the nib is worn somewhere. And straight up and down is going to give me my best ink flow. Just keep in mind the nibs on these are flat. All right, now, so I really am going to make myself happy today, and I'm going to put some flux around here. And you can do it in, like you could do it in the four corners and spread it out each spot from there. I think I'm going to go around, now this is Rick's version of flux. I'm going to go around the edge and see sort of where I end up. Something like this. Do I want to? Well, I may change my mind. And you know, flux, you can change how it looks just simply by changing the curve. This is not my intention, but here we are. Okay. When you have a big leaf like this, you can frequently sort of guide how you want this to be perceived by how that line in the middle is curved. So, you know, if you wanted it to look like it was curving up this way, you could turn it the other way, for example. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and be fearless with the inking, because that's going to add a lot of extra drama to this. And I'm just going to work my way all the way around and again make myself happy. I don't think I'll do that. I think I will do this and fill in here with the orbs and ink. It is a beautiful day, so everybody's got their motorcycles out. I guess I'll leave that there. Remember, how you want to handle this is up to you, and you don't have to use flux. You can use something entirely different if that is what makes you happy. Poke leaf or poke root, either one would go good here. I'm just indulging myself with this. Having a little bit of fun. Definitely getting relaxed. It's completely impossible for me to draw flux without relaxing. It just never goes wrong. I mean, I have some variations that work better than others. Some tiles work better than others, but in general, I always get a very pleasing result with flux, which is why it's my favorite. I have a lot on my favorites list, but this one has to be number one. And I'm going to cover this up. And if I want to put jelly roll in there, I still can. All right. Hope you see what I mean about the way that you curve these and use the middle line to sort of enhance what you want the impression to be. Okay. My stomach is growling. And I don't know why, because I ate before I got on to record, because I didn't want my stomach to growl in the middle of it. Some days it just doesn't pay to get up. I'm teasing. We should be grateful to get up every day, despite how we are feeling, despite feeling hopeless perhaps, or depressed, or upset, or frustrated, or angry, or whatever it is that we're feeling that day. Be grateful to have those feelings, have the opportunity to be feeling them, as so many people have been lost over the last year and no longer have that gift. So those of us who are left, we need to make sure that we honor them by cherishing each day that we have been given. So I like this. It's pretty organic, but it's not orderly enough to make it necessary to, oh, I've got to add one here, or I've got to add one there. It's naturally occurring enough, sort of, that yeah. And then I can add little ones here and there if I want, just to fill things out. And I'm sure I will keep doing that. I'm really taking my time. I know we are almost to an hour, so I'm going to have to move it a little bit, but or speed it up. But the last time I did that, somebody was upset with me, so I'm going to try not to, but I need to get this moving. Less talk, more draw. Well, I suppose this is okay. And maybe shading will help us, I hope. Otherwise, I'm not particularly excited with my outcome, but that's okay. We're not done yet, Cindy. Stop prejudging your results. It's terrible to be the preacher. Then you got to live up to it. But it keeps happening over and over that I prejudge in my head, and I go ahead and finish it anyway because that's what I tell you guys to do. And as soon as I do, I go, wow, I'm so glad I finished this. So I'm right. I'm right. I'm right. Listen to the Cindy. The Cindy is good. All right. I could just do half. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Gosh, don't be so serious. I still remember the first time I saw this tangle flux. I was so excited to try it. And when I did, I was like, oh my God, this is easy. That was my favorite kind of tangle, is easy. And quite honestly, it still is. If I don't have to think about it too much and it gives me a cool result, then I'm all about it. I don't know why I rail against thinking. I think that's one of my issues with shading, is it's too much thinking. And while I do want to know how to be a better shader, you know, I don't want to have to work for it too hard. Now, it probably is one of those things that needs practice, and I will be doing that, of course, as I can. But, yeah. I think I'm going to hollow ball this one badly. All right. I need to put another one here. I just need to. I love putting in the little sprigs, you know, where they all go different directions and sort of look like that. They always look so happy when they do that, I think. I don't know if that's going to work. All right. All right. Remember, you can't do these wrong. Nobody is telling you which way to do them. So whatever way you choose to do them is perfect and correct. Whatever way you choose not to do them is also perfect and correct. Never let anybody tell you you're doing your art wrong, because they're wrong. Now, it may not be perfect, and of course, we don't believe in that. There may be ways that you can improve it, but nobody gets to tell you that it's wrong. And even if you think they're right, it doesn't mean you have to agree. Out loud. Oh, not doing that very well. And yeah, live with it. Live with it. That's what we do. We live with it. I have to trade my pen out. I feel like I'm fighting for ink. Okay. Maybe an extra one over here. Okay. So this is a good example of when you don't want to take something small and do all of the intricate work like that, make it big and then spend your time beautifying and embellishing and you know, thinking of ways to change things up or vary it or whatever you want to do. Always be willing to try out things that you have ideas about. You're not going to know if they work unless you try. Now I will have to go through here and do the ink work, you know, rounding, line work, all that business. But this is basically what I'm going to stop with. I will almost certainly put an aura around the outer edge. So I've got a lot of spots like this where I was in too big a hurry to repair. So because I have worked them in many different directions, anything that is out of symmetry is not going to matter. And I did that on purpose because I know how mine end up. You know, if you are a person that manages to get things positioned in the right way and have luck with that, then, you know, do your own thing. That is a very important part of this, is that we are tangling together, but that doesn't mean you have to draw what I'm drawing. You draw what you want. So many of you are so much more talented than I am. I'm just your tour guide, guys. You guys are the artists. Let's see what happens there. So I'm just working them in, filling in with orbs, inking here and there. Okay, we'll add a few more here. Sort of flesh this out a bit. Like I said, I'll have some spots to repair with ink. That's okay, we can do that. It'd be good if I could stop jerking before we try that repair. All right. Okay, just a couple more. Okay. All right. I probably will add, maybe I need to do that now. I was thinking I need to add my orbs before I add my outer aura. So I'm going to go ahead and add some here and there. Doesn't have to be a big production. I'm just going to put a little one here and there if I've got some V-shaped spots. And I'll come back through here and ink in a bit. It says it ends up looking like a bit like a picture frame, doesn't it? All right. So now I'm going to put an external aura around this. And I can probably stick some more orbs in depending on how I draw that here and there. All right. All right, let's do it. As soon as I finish adding these. Yep. Okay. External aura. I'm going to switch to my PN for this, actually. It's one of the reasons why, sorry, I've got the shakes. One of the reasons why I have my PN here is that I wanted to do this outer aura in a little bit of a thicker pen. Okay, Simba's got something to share. Yeah. Simba, it's okay, buddy. Let it go. Hi, bub. Are you sharing yourself with me today? Thank you very much. That is so kind of you. All right, but let's not move around while Mommy's drawing auras. We've been over this. That's a bad thing. You know, the more interesting your outer edge is, the more cool it is to add an aura around it. Everybody's showing off today. All right. Well, now, not bad, right? Okay, I'm going to do some shading real quick. Really quickly. Since we're already at an hour and a half, or an hour and 15. All right. Let me find the right pencil. This is the light gray. I don't know that, I may do some more ink work in here to sort of accentuate some of the things we've got going on. Maybe add some line weight to this aura line here. I don't think this is going to be dark enough to make me happy. No. I think I have a darker one. That may not work. So, is this it? Nope. That is green. This is violet. The problem is these look very much the same from far away. Okay, so graphite it is. Let's get it on. Sorry. I had an Al Green moment. Something everybody should have sometimes. At this point, I am just playing with the shading. I have no idea what I'm going to do here yet. I know that where I've got these coming together, I'm definitely going to put plenty of graphite there so that I can blend that out. And here, I need some. And well, I can't decide. I'm gonna have to blend some of this first, and then decide where we're at. Graphite with this kind of thing is very powerful. When you're working in this type of a format and you handle it in this way and you add graphite, it tends to give it a kind of an antiqued look. But again, it really depends on what you've done, how you've done it, and all of that good stuff. So just, something to consider. And I'm not sure you're going to be able to tell much in this light. I'm not sure how much work I'm going to do on camera. I am going to orb each one of these in the way that we always do them, with a little crescent moon of color, whatever color you're going to make it. Pastel pencils work great for this. You can dab Jelly Roll on there, but if you leave that area light, then you shouldn't need any, right? Oops. Then on your flux, of course, you want to put it down where your stroke commences, where you begin your stroke. And the more darkening that you use like that, the more dynamic your flux is going to look. Anywhere that you are overlapping, the more powerful you make your shading, the more dynamic this is going to look. Mono 0 is definitely going to be a plus in this kind of thing, so you can bring it in and just lighten up your highlighted area, as it does tend to get graphite heavy after you've worked a while. So this is, because this is already an hour and 20 minutes, this is where I'm going to leave you today. I'm really going to work the shading around here. I may use pastel color on these orbs around the edges, and I'm considering doing some rounding and some different things in the middle to sort of liven it up. So I'll be sure and post a picture here in just a second, and you guys can check it out. All right, guys, thank you so much for being with me today, and I'm going to see you tomorrow.